Okay, we're going to try this again. I just tried this video a few minutes ago and my batteries were dying on me, so I'm doing it again. Or having to start it over, rather. Alright, so this video has been long coming. I was waiting for questions and stuff like that to come in, and just other things that cropped up as well. Yada yada yada. But on the AS Q&A video, which is what this is, I originally had over 50 questions and comments and things like that come in. And oddly enough, by the time I got done, it narrowed down to like just a couple. Because everybody asked the same question in a different form. So, in any case, the number one question that's always asked is, when was I diagnosed? I was diagnosed with AS back in 2010. After going to several doctors over several years, with different diagnoses from Reiter syndrome to just regular arthritis, degenerative disc disease, which I do have. And after many doctors, a lot of testing, it took one rheumatologist to say, I'm going to test you for a gene. And I was like, okay, whatever. And the gene is the HLA-B27 gene. That gene is either, or can come from either, or does, I can't say can, it does come from either your mother or your father's side of the family. So you get it from one or the other. Sometimes both. It is rare for that to happen, but you do definitely get it from your mom or your dad. I came out positive, obviously, so I got it. I know I got what side of the family. I got it from my dad. And that's not saying he had it, but that's where I got it, because that's a whole different video. So, yeah. So at that point, that rheumatologist had put me on, now we're getting into medications and treatments and things of that nature. He had started me on I can't think of the name of the shot, but it was the steroid shot that he would put directly into your spine to try to, calm it down, and it did help. It did help with the spasming, because I had horrible spasming from this, your basically the whole torso would spasm up from my back all the way around my rib cage, and it was like, the only way to describe it is a Charlie horse up here. Your whole upper torso, it was horrible. So it did help a little bit, but it didn't take it away fully. So then this went on for quite some time, with just going in, and he would give me the shots, and this and that and the other, and but it kept seeming things were getting worse. And then finally, where I go to see my regular doctor, that I still have now, they had gotten a rheumatologist in with that group. And so I went to see him, and he is the same rheumatologist that I have now, even though he's left that group, if you will, of doctors where I go. But he redid the test, and of course, again, it came back positive of the HLA-B27 gene. And he says, okay, we'll, apparently whatever this other person had you on, I'm not going to name any doctors' names, isn't working very well, so let's try Humira. So he put me on Humira. That did help. It did not come 100%, but it did take away a lot of the spasming and a lot of the, just a lot of the pain. It did help. However, I was having issues with sinus infections, and I battled sinusitis for a while. So he took me off of that and put me on Enbrel. And the Enbrel worked pretty much the same as the Humira, but I was still constantly having the same issue. And this went on for quite a while, because he wanted to put me on Remicade, but you have to go through steps to get to that point. And so we did. So finally, we was approved for the Remicade, and I started that. I've been on the Remicade infusions now for 4 or 5 years? 4 years. About and so far it's working. It's working. I don't want to jinx it, but it is working. I don't have near the issues with the spasming and the cramping and all that I did. It does not help the damage that's already been done. That's another thing you guys need to understand, some of you new people. And there's a gentleman that my niece knows that I'm kind of like talking to, if you will, and everybody else. But 9 times out of 10, all of the pain that you're feeling is your body or things fusing up. It's all the inflammation. It's all of that combined. Now the Remicade for me, even though it has slowed it down and it's taken away, you know, not all the pain, because I'm always in pain, it is not like it was. So I don't know what kind of treatments you specifically are on at this point. I don't know when you were diagnosed, or how long you had been dealing with it before you were diagnosed. I can only speak for myself. I had been dealing with the AAS probably, I can take it back to around 11 or 12 years old. And at that, you know, that was the time back in the 80s, obviously, a time where I was told to sit up straight, don't sit like that, sit like this, sit like a man, if you will. But I could only sit the way I was comfortable. I couldn't, you know, I couldn't sit normal because I was uncomfortable. And of course that just progressed, and then when I got into my 20s, it really kicked in. And then again, I wasn't diagnosed with it until 2010, and then that's when treatment started. So it takes a while. You know, I understand you were upset with being, you know, misdiagnosed. That is actually, unfortunately, normal. Like I said before, I was diagnosed with a couple other different things before I got the correct one. And it's sad to say, a lot of doctors still to this day don't know to test for that one gene. That one gene, and they don't know to test for it. So it's getting better, but some of them still don't do that. Now, a lot of people, just because you have that gene does not mean that it's for everybody else. But just because you have that gene doesn't mean you are automatically going to have ankylosing spondylitis. It is just more common to have the ankylosing spondylitis connected with you having the gene. There are people that have AS that don't even have that gene. So it's a very complex autoimmune disease. But yeah, it's no fun whatsoever. Medications that I am on right now, which is another question. I am on, very simple, I'm on the Remicade infusions that I take every 6 weeks. I do my Celebrex, and then I also have Pinsed. This stuff right here is a lifesaver. It is a salve. For some of you guys that are still like having issues with knuckle pain, you know, in your hands or your elbows or your knees or your lower back or wherever, it's just a pump. You just pump a little bit of it out. But I don't like the texture of it, but that's not the point of this medication at all. The point of the medication is that it helps relieve some pain, and that it does well. So I can't get too much into it because it is medication, and I can't get into certain things on YT about that. But anyway, ask your doctor about it. It is Pinsed, P-E-N-N-S-A-I-D. And if you are fortunate enough to be able to get it through your insurance, because it is quite expensive, see, you know, give it a shot, see if it'll help. But that's my remedy right now, or regimen right now, is just the Remicade, Celebrex, and the Pinsed when you know, for an ointment when I need it. And as of right now, it's doing okay. Now, as far as pain-wise goes, Um, we can't look at somebody else who has AS and say they don't have it as bad as I do because they're moving this way or they're moving that way or they're walking good or they're bending over a certain way and I can't do that, or whatever the case may be. It is very important to know that the AS affects everybody differently. It affects me different from you and you and you and you. You know what I'm saying? Nobody is the same. My problem areas are hips, lower back, neck, jaw. That is my main priority area, or main problem areas, if you will. It's starting to affect my hands a little bit, which is why I got this stuff. But it works everywhere else. If I have an issue with my lower back, I'll put some there. It helps with that. It helps with the elbows. It helps with my hands, my knee, if you know. But again, the AS affects everybody differently and attacks everybody differently. Now, had you met me or seen me 10 years ago, I was a completely different person. Dan would have to help me out of a chair. I was at the point of using a cane on occasion. I tried not to, but I still have it. The one thing I will never regain is motion. I never will. Well, first of all, you're going to have the disease, period. It's still doing damage, but you do the best you can with it. The bottom line is it affects everybody differently. You know. So, with me personally, in the mornings, it's my worst time of the day. I am blinking. Please do not shut off again. It's the worst time of the day. It takes me a couple hours to get moving. So, like in the morning, I have an appointment with my regular doctor at 8:15, I think. And so I will probably get up around 6 or 6:30 just to allow myself time to get moving, get loosened up, get my shower, and get ready to go. Because I am very stiff in the morning and it takes a while. And then in the evening, it starts to creep in before I go to bed. So I take, you know, the Celebrex and stuff at night, mainly at night, to kind of taper that down and then take it in the morning when I get back up. But yeah, it's hard. There are days that I can't walk. My feet are starting to give me a problem. I'm going to be picking back up this year as one of my year. I'm going to try to pick back up on the regular daily vlogging thing, so you'll see me more often on my feet and away from the camera rather than just sitting. Sorry about that. I don't even know exactly where it cut off. I had to take the batteries and charge them up real quick just for a second for me to finish. As I was saying, or at least I think I was saying, you know, my problem times are mornings and evenings as far as stiffness and all that are concerned. And so yeah. A couple other notes, and I'm going to get into this in another video when it comes to family and friends, understanding, supporting your situation, because that is very complex, and yeah, it's very complex. And I'm going to say some stuff in that video that's kind of more personal to me, and it's probably going to piss a few people off. Well, it's just going to make some people not very happy. But in any case, alright, so hopefully that helped a little bit. The main things to keep in mind is it takes a long time to get the correct diagnosis. It takes a lot of patience on your part with, you know, doctors and things of that nature. And when you find that one doctor that does it and gets it right, roll with it and, you know, just do the best you can. And so yeah, I hope this helped a little bit. I got to go back in. I have to see how this turned out. This is a messed up video. I get it. I understand it. I wasn't prepared battery-wise on my camera, so I really didn't get as much information out as I wanted. But in any case, I will be doing another one probably next week. I'll, you know, do like a little bit of a catch-up and try to do it a little bit, you know, clean it up a little bit better. But at least for now, I can get this out, and hopefully that'll help somebody anyway. God, I don't even know, did I get into spasming? I think I did. In any case, yeah. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and finish this out, get it rendered and get it up so I can get this uploaded. And I will see you guys in the next video. And, yep. Alright, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.